Ever have those moments when you're thinking, gee, I wish I'd have had my phone with me? That was me this morning. Hi, this is Kelly with Kelly's Creative Dream Studios. And before I get into today's project, I was in here getting ready to set things up, and Bob says, you have a deer eating your strawberries. I am not kidding you. I was less than 50 feet away from this deer when I stepped out onto the deck. Mind you, I had to open the door, step out on the deck, and was talking to him, and he just stood and looked at me with the sun shining through his beautiful satellite dish ears, standing by my strawberry tower. And I talked to him, and then I'm like, you can't eat my strawberries. Those are my strawberries. And he just looked at me, turned around, and proceeded to take another nibble off my strawberries. I had to tell him no, like he was a petulant child. And that's how my Saturday morning started. Speaking of Saturday, it is Sack Saturday, and we are here to make something, make a card from something that I have purchased from Spectrum Art Creations. And today I am using Blue Fern Studios, Mistletoe Holly. Now, I've done other things with this kit. A couple of years ago, I made round ornaments for a Christmas tree because I wasn't digging out ornaments, and I needed something for sacks, and so that's what I did. So we're going to use Mistletoe Holly. Now, there was a 12 by 12 paper pack. There were ephemera pieces, but there was also this Mistletoe Holly journal pack. And so this gives you an idea of what the pieces look like. And I was going to use this on a card base. I want to use a tall card, and I was going to use this page on this, but then I thought, why use a paper when I have this beautiful, well, it is paper, gee, duh, but it was a larger piece, and I could have used this, but then I'd have had to mat it. See how much room I have? So I slid this away, and I came in with a piece from the 12 by 12 that matched it. And check it out. So I've got a heavier cardstock, and this is going to be my card base. And so it is 8 inches by 9 inches, scored at the 4-inch mark. And I am going to go back and distress stuff. Now, I thought about using the girl from the paper, but she's a little bit bigger. And I could still maybe get away from that. But I'm saving this for a journal page. So instead, I'm going to use that as it is. I'll set this aside for a minute. And I'm going to use this on the outside of the card. And I got to trim it off of here first. It will just fit on there. So I'm going to trim this off here. The other thing I'm going to use is this for a tuck-in in the page. And so I'm going to come... I want to reserve this light. I don't want to use it, so I'm going to cut right along the edge of that candy cane rope that's there. Whoops, I could have cut Blue Fern out of there too while I was at it. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to cut right across the top of here. Just like this. Now wait a minute. No, because I don't want to lose that. So let me come down here. I'm probably going to be off screen, but I want to line it up to where I can see it. Okay. And then for my own sanity, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to trim this off with scissors because I don't trust me trying to do that on the trimmer. So I'm going to cut this kind of wide, just like that. And there are some really pretty pieces on there. But I want to come in and I want to leave this kind of torn edge, and it's kind of distressed. So I'm going to cut this out. Now I am only making one of these because this is a perfect image for a friend of mine for her Christmas card. So I'm going to go ahead and just make the one today, and that's why I'm kind of doing it on the fly. I'm going to cut the rest of the Blue Fern tab off of there. Okay, I think I am going to cut that off too, actually. Tomorrow is another Christmas card. Not sure what we're going to do. I'm in a writing retreat this weekend, so that's why I'm trying to get this done up ahead of time. Okay, now we need to, I've got this piece, I've got this piece. Let's go ahead and trim this out, and I need my glasses for this one. Bob is in making breakfast while I'm doing this. Isn't he so sweet? He has a competition shoot this afternoon. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time with him this morning, and then I'm going to move into the office, and I'm going to work really, really hard on trying to get this manuscript done. I have twofold. Number one, this manuscript, this book, An Ozarks Homecoming, has been way too long in getting done, and it needs to be done. Number two, I want to get it done so I can get the cover ordered, because I could use it in a competition at my writers conference that I go to every year, and I have to turn those in by the end of August. So just a little bit of a time crunch here. Okay, now let's see if I trimmed that off enough to fit. I did. Now I don't want, I want the look of brads on here, but I don't want them to show through back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get to my brads without taking everything off the shelf over here. I get to my brads, and I want these. I want those two. And I'll put the rest of those back later. And this one I need my pokey tool. And I'm just going to poke right there. Very close to that S. Because I'm going to glue it in so I don't have to worry too much about the holes themselves. I just need to be able to hold on to them. Put my cheaters on, that might help. Okay. Well, gushy darns. I could have made the hole a little bigger, and I probably should have. See, I've already torn it through, so that's okay. That's okay. We're going to go this way and bend it down. And I need to kind of torque that to where it comes down this way and comes down so it stays behind. So it stays behind there. Okay, and I'm going to push that down so it mushes. And I'm going to do the same with this one. The other thing I probably should have done first, before I put the brads in, is to distress this. Because the person who's getting this Christmas card loves distressing. She will be the first to tell you she's a grungy girl. So there, I've got that down. So let's come back in with Vintage Photo. I think is going to be the perfect medium for this. And let's see. I think this is my Vintage Photo block. I'm just going to dust that down, and this will help create a shadow. So this will stand out a little bit more from the card back. Just like that. And I'm also going to distress the edges of the card. So they've got that distressed look too. So I'm going to distress that right down even into the spine. Okay. And I'm not going to do, I'm going to turn it inside out. I'm not going to do the spine because I don't want that dark look on the inside. But I do want that Vintage Photo to show through, or walnut stain rather, to show through on the inside as well. So we've got that. Now we can put that back. Now I'm going to use my craft glue for this. As I find my brush, there it is. Because I want it to really hold those brads in place. So I'm going to really coat those with the brads. Wow. Almost 10 minutes already. Okay. Set that on there. Set this on here. Now, the other thing I'm going to do, you're not going to get to see, is I'm going to go through with my Wink of Stella when I'm done, and I'm going to add some accents, but I need to get this card done. And so that holds, I'm going to go ahead and put my clips on there. Just like that. Okay, now I have another piece. This was from the ephemera pack. And it goes like that. And I'm going to put it right here, but I'm going to dust the edges really good. And get rid of that white. And it's okay if I go inside on the picture itself, because it's going to look a little distressed everywhere. Now, I do need to clip these off, so I'm going to take them off about 1/8 of an inch, and I think that's going to give me enough for that to fit inside that fold. It does. Now I can come back where I've clipped that off, and I can distress those edges. Come back all the way around. Since it's Sack Saturday, I can tell you that Maddie is in Indianapolis this week. She's been in Indianapolis all week on a vendor's market, talking with some of the craft vendors from all over the world, including Blue Fern. And we're going to be seeing what's new from all these new companies. She gave Graphic 45 a chef's kiss. And you know I love my Graphic 45, so I can't wait to see what they're going to do. Okay, so I just dusted like 3 edges of that, so I can set it right there. I might need to have cut that one off a little bit more, but we can trim it. And then this is going to get dusted, just like this. And I'm not careful about staying on the edge. I want to add some of that distressed color to the piece itself, just like that. Okay. And then this will slide right in there. And then I have plenty of room to add a message on the inside. Now, as I said, I'm going to come back with some Wink of Stella and decorate that out. And I will show this to you completed with all the pretty sparkles when we come back tomorrow for our day 19. We're clipping right along. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. I will see you back here tomorrow for another card. In the meantime, remember to like, share, subscribe, and creative Christmas blessings.